very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. Here today in Wales at the National Slate Museum and the Llanberis Lake Railway. Well, welcome to the National Slate Museum at Norwich Quarry. So we've got the narrow gauge railway that runs down the side here, runs along the lake. Around here we've got the main building, which are the workshops from the Slate Museum. We'll go in there in a moment. But I just want to start off over here with the engine shed. So if you saw, I did a video a little while back on the Penryn Castle collection being disbanded. And at the time I spoke about Fire Queen, the oldest surviving loco that is in the museum there. That started its life here at Norwich, and during that time, I think it was on the rails for about 11 years. It didn't have a very long lifespan, but when it was retired, its sister loco was scrapped, and Fire Queen was put inside this shed here, and it was stored in here right the way through up until about 1960. It was said that the apprentices of the quarry would keep it lubricated, and it was just hidden away in this shed, almost forgotten, till obviously it was, let's use the word, rescued and taken over to the Penryn Museum, where it's been for the last, 30-40 years. Now the plan is, with all of the rehoming of the locos from Penryn, that will make its way back here. This shed, I believe, is going to be restored. Now the loco has been moved from Penryn. It's gone down to, I can't remember which railway it is, another railway in Wales. I'll put it in the caption, I can't remember as I stand here, where it's on display in their museum for the next few months, and then eventually the engine shed here will be fully restored, and this will become the new home of Fire Queen as part of the exhibits here for the railway and the National Slate Museum. I also mentioned in that video, if you came here, there's this little walkway sort of in between the walls of the quarry. You can see, if I just point up here, I'll come across here, you can just make out these slate walls, and through those gates there you used to be able to walk in, and there's an extremely deep pool of water. I think I've got some pictures, I'll put them in the video if I can find them, and I'll just show you this here. This is one of the incline railways. Obviously these trucks get winched all the way to the top with a winch house at the top, and winch back down full of slate. Got the beds still in the ground here, and the little turntables, friction turntables, to rotate the trucks round to either go off back into the quarry, or indeed over, I guess, to be loaded up in the workshops. Right, making our way towards the Slate Museum. Just to the left here, see these two arches. This is where they house the fleet of trains that work on the Llanberis Lake Railway. Can't see any in there except for the little shunting loco outside here. Right, let me just turn through 180 degrees and show you the mine, or part of the mine anyway. Right, so we're inside the National Slate Museum. You can see the entrance, back of the entrance here, and all the workshops around the outside. Now, just talking to the gentleman as I came in, wasn't aware this is actually closing in 2 months' time for a 2-year renovation. So if you do want to come and see this, you're going to have to be fairly quick, otherwise it's going to be a 2-year wait. Again, you can see the quarry in the background there. All these traditional slate roofs. Right, let's make our way through one of the workshops. Just seen this bit here about the locomotive shed, and there you go. There's Fire Queen sitting outside of the shed, locomotive shed. Fascinating old crane here. Let's see if we can see a manufacturer on it. Smith Rodley. Not familiar with that, but sitting here on tracks. You can see a mechanism underneath to rotate. They've got a diesel engine in here. And a scoop bucket at the end. We saw the incline railway earlier, and obviously the workers need to get to the mine. So here's one of the trolleys that would be pulled up the hill with the seats on here at a slight angle. And the slate all stacked up here. This area was famous for. All of these slates went all over the world. And I think I said in the previous video, you know, on the roofs of houses, churches, schools, you name it, they all had slate roofs from this area of Wales. At the end here, just back looking towards the entrance, this is the Chief Engineer's house. Let's kind of look inside. A wash house and coal shed. It's in there, a mangle. And as it said, a coal shed. But here it's a little bit dark, I think, to film. Obviously got the pantry there. And the living quarters. Of course, big house compared to the ones that Colin had. I don't know if this is coming out on camera, but the train's just gone past and the yard is just full of smoke. Right, I can make my way over here. Right, that bit's no entry. So we'll go to the next room. Quarryman's mess. Of course, if you're modelling in 009 scale, you'll be super interested in all these wagons. This is a demonstration area. Might try and get back here at 4:20, but basically this is the apparatus used to split the slate down into the little thin slithers that you see. Start off as a thicker sheet, and then across these you can break them open, initially with a chisel to split them apart, and then this apparatus here is used for finishing the edges. Right, so this is the loco shed, and it says here, in this workshop engineers repaired and maintained the Pardo Railway's fleet of 4-foot gauge transporter wagons used to ferry 2-inch gauge trucks of slate to the coast at Port in Orwig. Let's have a look inside. So my eyes have gone straight to this. So I've got a video on the channel of me driving a full-size train, but there's also another video on there of me driving my speedy locomotive. And yeah, there's one down in the cabinet there, and that's exactly the model I was driving. Vertical boiler engine, another model there. Beautiful. What's this one? or slightly larger. An 060 industrial locomotive built by Bayer Peacock. That's a beautiful model. I've got one of their locos here down to the frames. You see the pistons are still fitted along with motion, but the boiler is just to the side here. And the guy was telling me this boiler is actually one of the oldest boilers, or was one of the oldest working boilers in the UK. Now it says here we're hoping to be able to save this boiler. It's the second boiler in Una, that's the loco's names. 116-year history, been in place since 1935, and this type of riveted boiler is extremely rare. It's one of the oldest riveted boilers still in use in the UK. So yeah, they're looking for funds to try and repair the boiler, and yeah, then it can go back on the frames and the loco can come back into use. Over the back there's a brush battery loco, and just reading off of the sign that's helpfully put here. I can't see what's behind that. Yeah, another little shunting engine. Let's make our way through here. This is the timber shed, and in here you see shaft driven apparatus from the ceiling, and obviously when this will be rotating, I'll be working the reciprocal saw, sliding up and down and cutting the wood that's here. And this piece of machinery is huge, look at this. That's some helpful sound effects to set the scene. Fantastic. And you see the pincers here hanging from the ceiling that would be used to, I guess, to pick up the logs and move them around in here. A whole rack of spare blades there on the wall, and a couple of hand saws, just I guess in case things get stuck. Through into the workshop. Again, up there you can see the shaft drive with the belt coming down onto the circular saw. I mean, the bed on this is huge, look at this. Right the way down there. We put the tree trunk on here and obviously slide it through, and yeah, a lot of power in there. You see over the back the double pulley, I guess some form of clutch system in there so that you can switch the machine on and off while all the shafts are running. And then you've got the linear rolling bed going off into the distance there as you'd push the log through the cutting blade. I'm going to do this bit out of sequence, and right here is the beginning of, well, how all of the shafts are driven. Now right at the top there you can see the bevel gear at the top. That goes through the wall, and I'm going to show you what's on the other side of that in a moment. That would run down here, pick up on the line as you can see here, and then run all of the shafts through the workshop, running all of the machines. Now obviously modern day system, got a modern day peloton wheel just here. You can hear the water coming through. So yeah, this is now run on this little mechanism here, and that's just running the shaft. But I will show you what's on the other side of that wall in a moment. We've just walked through the shaft driven workshops, and this is the bit that I really wanted to show you, which is what's inside this building here. So I'm going to make my way out the staircase and yeah, show you inside. Just walk around this gantry, and let me show you in here. Prepare to be amazed. So all of the workshops here are powered by this huge water wheel. You can see it. If I pan up, hopefully the camera's doing this justice. The size of this is just ginormous. You see right at the far end. You see right at the far end there, just past the spindle. There's just about here, there's a cog that would be engaged onto the wheel and drive all of the shafts in the workshop. You can still hear the train going past us, hear the whistle going. Let me just pan back out. You get a real feel for momentum here. Obviously when you look in the middle there, turning extremely slowly, and then you come out to the end here, and that's really moving past. Absolutely fascinating. So I've been coming here for 45 years, and yeah, every time I've come in here and seen this, it always amazes me. What a feat of engineering. And now onto some of the machinery, line driven, all of it. So again, you see the pulley system at the top here, coming down onto a mill. Got the bandsaw here. I'll just come around this side and see the bandsaw again, driven by a pulley system. And this will be hooked up onto the shaft at the top there. And we start to see some of the patterns. So this casting shop here, we'll go in there in a minute, but these are all obviously the wooden patterns that are used for making all kinds of things. I mean, the one thing that does jump out of these cogs, obviously, that you can see here, bits of loco these look like. Quite noisy in here. There's some sort of pump going. Again, you can see all the patterns on the wall. Come out here. And into the foundry. Huge sandcasting pit. You can see all the sandcasting moulds on the floor here. And obviously I'm sure everybody's aware, you know, they take those wooden patterns that we just seen. You see this one here that says danger level crossing, pack it into the sand, put the top or the lid onto the mould, pack more sand in, until it's all nice and tight in there. Separate the two moulds, take out the pattern, and then move it over to that end where the furnace is, and at that point pour in molten metal, and out comes the thing that you need. And out of that comes your casting. And I mean, just looking at some of the patterns on the wall here, apart from all the different cogs and things, if you look at the window frames, the pattern there, right in the middle, and now if I go around to the window frames in here were cast, I don't know if they were cast in this foundry, but they're certainly made by the same process of sand casting. All kinds of patterns here. You see some of the cast items. Obviously all these nameplates were cast in here. You can see there the Hunslet Una. It's got a celebratory name tag there, 1905 to 2005. That's the logo that we saw in bits just around the corner. And the building itself is quite fascinating as well, for a pan up to the roof. There's a huge crane in the middle. Right, this is described as the engineering workshop and the smithy. And again, we've got some of the tools of the trade here for cutting slate. So whereas we saw earlier, the edge of this for finishing slate, this machine here, as it would rotate, you could slide a piece of slate in the front there and cut the edge off. And here's another slate dressing machine. And you can see obviously the guillotine edge would come down, and from the top here with the blade slicing on here, just to slice the edge off the slate, give it a final finish. Same sort of hand dressing tool that I showed earlier, and various table saws. This is a slate saw table. Actually, they're all slate saw tables. Another one here. You can see the line shaft continuing through this workshop. Just making sure I'm getting that in shot. Yeah. Okay, all the way through. And I'm going to state the obvious here, I'm sure everybody's aware of this, but if you want to rotate your machine in the opposite direction to the driven line, you twist the belt. So you can see the top, the line is going round in an anti-clockwise, and the machine down here going in the clockwise direction. Do you know, I'm also fascinated by the benches. Look at the bench here, and yeah, with the vice on there. Fantastic bit of kit. These are the tools that we used. They're attached, I guess, onto this kind of jackhammer, and with the different ends, could be used to dig into the slate. This is the blacksmith's area. So you see over the back there, a whole row of forges. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in there, 4 forges. And then in the middle here, absolutely ginormous drop hammer. And again, the line shaft still rotating above us. Another one of those fantastic benches. Imagine the noise that really would have been in here with all of this running. Another drop hammer. You see again run by the shaft system, the belt here. And again, I mentioned earlier the two pulleys to work as a clutch system. So when the tool's not in use, you put the belt onto one pulley and it just sits there rotating around, and then using this mechanism here, you then push the belt across onto the other pulley, this way, push it onto the other pulley, which would engage the machine. Big set of bellows at the end here. And then hanging on the wall over the back there, look at all the different blacksmith's tools. Obviously forming a wrought iron and various other things. A set of tongs hanging on the forge over there. Into the repair shop. You can still see the shaft running along the top. Oh, the boiler here. I just noticed a sign here. It says, "We're currently photographing all the museum and all our objects in the collection as they are today to create a snapshot in time before we begin on a major conservation and redevelopment project later this year." So as I say, if you want to see this, you're going to have to be quick. Yes, in a couple of months it will be closing, and who knows if they will keep all of these workshops in this sort of original state, or whether become more of a gallery space. I do hope they keep it like this. I just find this absolutely fascinating. We've got a radial arm drill here, cutting out the profiles of the wheels. Huge set of drill bits. And look at this lathe. Let me start at this end, and I've got a panel on it. That's huge. They're going down here. You see the rack and pinion drive to take the lathe bed along. Just at the top again, the shafts driving all the way through the workshop, and obviously different diameters of the wheels on here would depict the speed that the power was supplied. You see this belt here sitting on the idler wheel, like I say, the sort of rudimentary clutch system. Obviously if you want to use this machine, use the mechanism there to force the belt onto the other wheel, which would then engage the machine. There's a voiceover in here coming from the telly, so apologies. Huge lathe here, so again preparing to dress a wheel. You see it mounted onto the face here. All the shackles on the side. A slotting machine, belt-driven slotting machine. I will come out of here because of the voiceover. I've just spotted this hand cart in the yard. Fantastic set. Probably see a pair of you would sit in here, turn the handle, and with that mechanism drive the wheels. You can hear the train going past. There's the other bits of Una, the loco, the Hunslet that was in pieces in the shed. Well, a great museum. As I say though, closing in 2 months' time and will be shut for the next 2 years while they renovate the buildings. So if you can get here and see it in the next couple of months, please do so. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel. Lots of things on there, all the things that interest me, everything from model railways right the way through to roller coasters and you know, days out like these. So yeah, please, if you can have a look, I'll be grateful, and if you can subscribe, I'll be even more grateful. And with that, I'm going to wrap this one up there and say thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.